Hello you dirty dogs and welcome back to One on One, where today we're ranking the 15 most valuable players out of contract this summer. I'm also going to throw in a wild card at the end, so keep those peepers peeled. To clarify, this is about players who are yet to sign a pre-contract agreement. Free transfers that have already happened, not up for consideration. For consistency's sake, I'll be using TransferMarkt's valuations and slotting the players into the following categories: bigger and better, stay put, underrated signing, something to prove, overrated signing, and last chance saloon. Let's dive in. Lionel Messi kicking us off at number 1, who is worth £72 million. Now, according to Deportes Cuatro, Messi's been offered a new contract where his salary is worth half the amount, but is 10 years long. Of course, that doesn't mean he's going to remain with the club for that duration of time. That would be insane. This is very much a cost-cutting measure to free up money in the short term to reinvest in new players or, pay off some of that sizable debt. A quick reminder that in January, Spanish paper El Mundo said that debt stood at over $1 billion. Pretty unsurprising, really, given that they're paying Messi £122 million a year. Anyway, despite the fact that nothing has been signed as of yet, it would seem that the club's chances of keeping their greatest ever player have been severely enhanced by the arrival of new chairman Joan Laporta. Which is just as well, isn't it? As he absolutely carried the side last campaign, 52 goal involvements in 47 matches. Anyway, at this point, I think it's safe to assume that he is staying put. I'm going to put my neck out doing this. Next up is Gianluigi Donnarumma, rated at a cool £54 million. Despite only turning 22 this February, sickening, he's already clocked up 250 appearances for his boyhood club, keeping 86 clean sheets in the process. But it looks like the love affair is well and truly over, with the goalkeeper saying farewell to his teammates after that victory over Atalanta. But given they've just finished second and secured Champions League football for the first time since 2012-13, wouldn't now be a good time to stay? Well, it would appear that they tried, and Tuttosport reported that the club did offer Donnarumma and his super agent Mino Raiola wages of €8 million a year. Apparently, Mino wanted 10 and a further signing on fee between 15 and 20 million euros. So AC did the sensible thing and said, thanks but no thanks, we're going to go after Mike Maignan, who's just won the title with Lille, for 13 to 15 million pounds. Ultimately, Donnarumma gonna end up at Juventus, isn't he? Boring. I think he probably just about, despite AC Milan's great season, sneaks into bigger and better. Next up, David Alaba, who's ranked at 49.5 million quid. Now, according to transfer expert Fabrizio Romano, a deal to Real Madrid has already been hashed out. He's just not signed on the dotted line. And this is regardless of whoever is manager at the Bernabeu next season. I mean, for free, he's got to go an underrated signing, hasn't he? Next up is Memphis Depay, ranked at £40.5 million. Now, for the last 6 months, this has felt like a given, hasn't it? Depay joining up with Koeman at Barcelona. However, Barcelona's disappointing end to the season may have complicated matters, with Depay's fate seemingly tied to that of Ronald Koeman's. If Laporta chooses to replace the Dutchman, apparently Inter Milan, Atletico and Juventus are prepared to offer higher wages than Barcelona. And the only reason that Depay has overlooked those wages is because he has a good relationship with the current head honcho. So, maybe a bit of a twist in this transfer saga yet. Either way, after a very productive stint in Lyon, I think it's safe to say Memphis Depay is going on to bigger and better. Gini Wijnaldum next, coming in at 31.5 million euros. Can probably keep this one short, because as I started filming, it was announced that he'd signed a pre-contract with Barcelona. Can see him bringing a lot of mobility, a lot of athleticism to that midfield, which has lacked legs in recent times. And if you can get him for nada on solid wages, I do think this forms firmly in the underrated signing category. This one not discussed anywhere near as much as the others. It's Calhanoglu of AC Milan, who's valued at £31.5 million. But this is a player who has had a stunning season and somewhat of a renaissance. 21 goals and assists in 43 appearances. So the 27-year-old Turkish international's deal is up on June 30th, and it is believed that AC Milan have already offered him a new contract valued at £4 million per annum. Although Al Dahel, a team from Qatar, are apparently willing to double that. If he does take the Middle Eastern payday, then apparently AC Milan would bid between 35 and 40 for Rodrigo de Paul. Serie A fans, a new Calhanoglu deal or Rodrigo de Paul? What are you going for? Let me know in the comments. We can do this next one double time. It's Sergio Aguero. He's worth €22.5 million, and like Pep told the BBC, he's going to Barcelona. Quite puzzling logic, seeing as they let Luis Suarez go because of his age. He's only a year older than Sergio Aguero, and surely Sergio Aguero demanding fairly punchy wages. But if we start looking for logic in Barcelona's transfer policy, we're going to be here all day. Now, despite his reputation as a serial bagsman and a Premier League legend, I think he does have something to prove. His fitness over the last 2 campaigns has been pretty patchy, featuring in just 36 Premier League games since the start of the 2019-20 season. So, his legacy not in question, but his fitness definitely is. And for that reason, something to prove. Next up, a man who has proved the haters wrong in the last 2 campaigns. Now, it has been reported that Henrikh Mkhitaryan is close to signing a new 2-year deal at the Olympico, but the Armenian's future still not totally clear owing to the arrival of Jose Mourinho, who of course deemed him surplus to requirements at Manchester United. The powers that be at the Giallo Rossi will want to smoothen that over as quickly as possible though, won't they? With Mkhitaryan putting up 24 goal contributions in 34 Serie A games. He was the only player to score more than 9 open play goals. So after an inconsistent 4-year spell in the Premier League, he's finally found his feet again. And he shouldn't give that up, even if Mourinho is coming in. And that's why I'm sticking him in stay put. Up next is La Masia graduate Eric Garcia, valued at £18 million. Now, it hasn't happened yet because his deal at the Etihad hasn't officially expired, but apparently poised to sign a 5-year deal which would take him back to Catalonia. Now, in many ways, this makes perfect sense. PK, approaching his mid-30s, Garcia, 14 years his junior at 20 years old. However, first-team opportunities have been limited since he refused to sign that new deal at the Etihad. He only played 858 minutes this season. So for me, still something to prove. Coming in at number 10 on our list is Real Madrid utility man Lucas Vasquez, who has apparently been offered a new deal already by Los Blancos with improved terms in order to fend off interest from Manchester United and Chelsea. This would see his wages rise from 60k basic to 84. This season's probably been one of his more memorable campaigns, deputising at right back for the injured Dani Carvajal. In fact, he's only racked up more than his 21 starts this season in 1 campaign, and that was for Espanyol in 2014-15. 7 goal contributions to boot as well. Bueno. He's been there since 2007, was a youth product, has been offered improved terms, might not get the game time next season, but probably won't demand it. Stay put. At number 11, it's Elseid Hysaj of Napoli, who's worth £12.6 million. He's been a solid servant since arriving from Empoli way back in 2015, although has been rotated in and out of the side for the past 2 to 3 campaigns. He's only scored 1 goal for the club, which gives you some insight into his skill set. A very defence-minded fullback. Someone who commentators would call old-fashioned. Do you think this is make or break for Hysaj's career at a top 6 club, let's say, in any respective division? Last chance saloon to establish himself as that sort of player. We've already touched upon Ramos a little bit already. Have they just drafted Alaba in to replace him, or do they fully expect this contract standoff to come to an amicable resolution? I'm not totally sure now, but PSG and Manchester United do remain very viable destinations. Left out Spain's Euro squad, position in the starting 11 at Real Madrid under threat, I reckon something to prove for Sergio. At number 13 is Nikola Maksimovic, who is worth a cool £10.8 million. Now, apparently, Everton and West Ham both interested in this player. Of course, already played under Ancelotti at Napoli, but bit of a bit part player under the wily old Italian. Don't know if that'll put him off. I assume this is to replace the perennially injured Mbamin. However, now Roma have made advances, and it looks like they're willing to meet his wage demands of €3 million per season. Could be a good pickup this for West Ham just before they embark on their European adventure. Good cover for Souček and Rice at the base of that midfield. I'm going to go underrated signing, particularly if he heads to the London Stadium. Been very kind so far. There's no one in overrated. Now, apparently, although it's not been heavily reported, Romaine Saiss has had an extra year triggered in his current contract because he made enough appearances in the Premier League this term. Clearly, it's stay put. And in number 15, it's Vincent Aboubakar, who won the Turkish League and Cup double this season with Besiktas. Now, after 2 pretty bleak years in Porto, he's got his career back on track, scoring 15 goals in 26 appearances this season for Besiktas. But at 29, probably his last chance to engineer a big money move. Get yourself that last hurrah, Vincent. Come on. And my wild card, 25-year-old Scotsman Ryan Gold, who is leaving Farense after his club was demoted from the Primeira Liga in Portugal. Let's hope he secures that move to Benfica. The way he's been playing in the Liga NOS definitely deserves recognition. Deserves a stage. Come on, Ryan. If you had to move one of those players into the overrated section, who would it be and why? Let me know in the comments below. You guys need to be more cutthroat than me at home. I've bottled it. So that was a rundown of the 15 most valuable out-of-contract players this summer. Where do you guys at home think they should go and why? Let me know on socials and in the comments below. As always, we'll be in there for the first hour at the very least. Like this video, subscribe to the channel with notifications on, and we'll catch you next time.